Never before, at least I can't find it, did an outgoing president an ingoing president humiliate an outgoing president. Right. Never before. And we had some pretty intense hatreds going on in campaigns. So 6 feet away, Joe Biden had to sit there for 30 minutes and listen to how he screwed up every single thing in this country. And it was excruciating. And the reason that Donald Trump did that is because he believes that President Biden was behind Jack Smith and Mar-a-Lago's raid and its vengeance. And I will make one more illuminating point on this. And you can identify with this, Cuomo. If someone attacks your family, and it has been done to me and you, forgiveness is not real easy to do, especially if the person doesn't ask. And Trump's family was attacked in all of these things that came out of Merrick Garland's Justice Department. Now, I don't know if Biden was cognizant enough to be a co-conspirator here. I will find that out, but I don't know now. But Trump firmly believes that Biden was behind the attacks, not only of him, but his family. And that is why he humiliated Biden to an extent never before seen in an inaugural address today.
Yeah, it's probably one reason why he didn't show up 4 years ago either, is because he knew what was going to be coming his way, and Biden chose a different path. Look, I hear your analysis. I think it's good food for thought for the audience. I disagree with a number of the points, but the only one that really matters is every moment that Donald John Trump motivates any retrospective in terms of investigating narratives, looking at narratives, is to me a moment wasted for the American people. And I don't expect Republicans to be better than Democrats were. I think they're all about their party and shoring up their own power bases, and they have no problem investigating the other side because it's the easiest way to do that. But I think it's ruinous to the country. And part of my perspective on it is to attack it.
Let me ask you a question.
Please.
Let me ask you a question then. I don't agree with you. We have a gentleman's disagreement on this because I don't think you're wrong per se. I just think the advancement of the country's welfare requires an exposition of the truth. So
That's
today,
what the Democrats said.
just before he walked out of the White House, Biden pardoned his family, everybody but Jill.
Right.
Okay. If I'm President Trump, I ask the Attorney General, Bondi, to appoint a special counsel to investigate the Biden family, even though a full pardon is on the books. Because the American people have a right to know whether there was graft and corruption at the vice presidential level and the presidential level. That's what I do. Would you oppose that?
Yeah, I'd absolutely oppose it. And I think it would be really funny if Pam Bondi picked a special counsel that wasn't someone who was already working at the DOJ and see if the Republicans got upset about that the way they did with Jack Smith. But look, I think that's a BS issue anyway, and I can't believe that judge called it out, and I guarantee you it loses on appeal, but that's not important. What is important is that's nothing but petty vengeance. There's zero chance that Congress, let alone a special counsel, is going to uncover something that is entirely unknown at this point about the perfidy or felonious activities of the Biden family. Any more so than is obvious. You can disagree, that's fine. I'm just saying history makes it really clear.
There's millions of dollars in play. There is millions of dollars in play.
I know, but Bill, we both heard the same thing about Trump making money hand over fist, and his daughter getting patents, and his son's doing this, and getting billions from the Saudis, and the other thing.
No evidence at all.
There's plenty of evidence of it, but it was a waste of the American people's time.
Nothing that you could even bring. Go ahead. Nothing you could bring into court.
Hey, thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget, click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.